Example of trinomial factoring. I'm only going to show you one example of the simplistic one where the lead coefficient of the polynomial, trinomial in this case, is 1. You need to practice these many times to get really quick with them. You don't want to factor slowly and methodically. You really want to be able to go through them and get them factored apart, because in the next section we're going to have to factor 3-4 times per problem to get through just one problem. Alright, so this is just the basics of factoring a lead coefficient of 1. The first step is to look for factors of 36 that subtract up to a -5, and you really want to do it in that order and in that language. Step 1, look at the last number, as long as the lead coefficient is 1, and say factors of 36. Step 2, look at the sign of that last number. This will tell you if you're going to add the factors or subtract them, and in this case we're going to be subtracting them. And then finally, step 3, look at the middle coefficient. In this case we want the factors of 36 to subtract up to this -5. So what are factors of 36 to subtract up to -5? Well, that would be 9 and 4. So my next step is to take the 5x and separate it into the 9 and the 4 in such a way that when I put them together I'm going to come up with -5. So that'll be a -9 and a +4. But I also want that x involved, so it has to be a -9x plus 4x. And then we're just going to drop the two terms that were originally there that we didn't touch, which were the x squared and the -36. So basically I've taken the polynomial and expanded it out away from the -5x into these two components, -9x and +4x. So I haven't really changed anything. It's still equal, it just looks a little different. But now we have 4 terms, and we can use that technique of grouping and factoring. So I'm going to group the first 2 terms, and I'm going to group the second 2 terms and pull out the greatest common factor. Out of the first 2 it'll be an x. Left behind will be an x minus 9. Out of the second 2, between a 4 and a -36, remember we're going to take that sign with it. It's going to be a +4 that I'm going to pull out, and left behind is x minus 9. And then we have our 2 terms that have like factors. So we're going to kick out the like factor of x minus 9, and left behind is x plus 4. After you do many of these, you're going to find that there is a shortcut involved. But this technique is very important because that shortcut doesn't work for my next example. And that's it. We're done factoring.